about biosphere as well. Biosphere is basically that part of the earth in which living organisms are surviving, in which they are found. So they can be found on land, under the water, and in the air as well. So that is what biosphere is. And that we did studied about wildlife and ecosystem. What are these things? We did studied about them as well. So in today's class, we'll be talking about some more interesting things like deforestation. What are the causes of deforestation? How deforestation has impacted our earth? Okay, na? How much of damage it has done to our earth? How? What are the mitigation measures we need to adopt in order to at least reverse some of the damages that has been done due to excess cutting of the forest? So these are the things we are going to be studying. Let me join from my computer as well, so that I will be able to see what's going on in the class. Khadija hasn't joined yet, no?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Hope I'm visible.
Sir, you are not visible.
Okay, I will be in a moment. Okay, anyways. So let's to talk about deforestation. So deforestation basically, what is it? It is basically large scale cutting down of the forest, right now. Like if you cut few trees, it will not be called as deforestation. But if you were to cut the trees on a large scale, then it will be called as deforestation. Deforestation not only harms the wildlife, but it harms the human population as well. How? Will it harm the human population also? We know that forests are called as lungs of earth, isn't it? They are called as green lungs of earth. Yes, on this, because
Yes.
we have studied earlier in class 7th also, like, or earlier also you must have studied that plants do the process of photosynthesis right now. So in the process of photosynthesis, which gas they are releasing?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. So what we are seeing here in the process, in that process, lots of trees are there in the forest, and they are releasing oxygen into the environment. Now suppose, now think about this, that when huge number of trees are cut down, when large scale cutting is done, so you are cutting a significant number of trees, so thereby what will happen, the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere will be getting imbalanced. At present you have 21% of oxygen in atmosphere, 78% is nitrogen, nitrogen gas in the air, and rest are other gases like carbon dioxide is there, argon, neon, helium. So many gases are there apart from the three main gases. The another main gas is 0.04% composition, that is carbon dioxide. So plants, via the process of photosynthesis, they are maintaining the composition of oxygen in the environment right now. But due to the clearing of forest over a wide area, we will be ultimately it will lead to imbalance in the percentage of oxygen in the atmosphere. So obviously all the living organism needs oxygen to do various activities, to be alive, to do respiration. So it will be a threat to life of living organisms. You can experience this like if you were to climb a hill or go to a mountain, climb a hill or go to a mountain, so thereby people will suffer from a condition of breathlessness, or basically it is due to lack of oxygen. Because when you go higher up in the hills or mountains, amount of oxygen is less there. That's why we develop several problems. In fact, person can faint also. They can faint. So in the same manner, if the composition of oxygen in the atmosphere to decrease, so thereby we will be having so many different problems. We will not be able to function properly right now. So talking about deforestation, it's the destruction of forests by cutting down trees, and it leads to habitat loss for many animals. Right now, now the question comes: why deforestation is being done? Why it is being practiced? One of the reason is to obtain wood for using it as fuel. To obtain wood to use as fuel. Another reason could be to make furnitures. Then also you know that to make paper also we require wood, isn't it? Also, uh, if you have to do now some cultivation, like if someone wants to grow a particular kind of crop on it, huh? Like in the forest you find that different species of trees are found in a forest. Plants are of different kind of plants are found in a forest. But let's say that you want to grow cotton crops only here, right? Or you basically want to grow sandalwood, hmm? Or you want to grow teak wood, for example. So you will have to clear down the forest, and now you will be practicing monoculture. So to practice monoculture also, sometimes forest is cleared, plants are cut down. Getting it now? So that is another reason to do monoculture. Sometimes for construction purposes also it is done. For example, you want to construct a road, so thereby forest has to be cleared right now. Or you have to cut down to get land for construction of houses, for railway tracks, for laying the railway tracks or roads. Can you think of some other reasons? Can there be some other reasons why forest will be cleared, why deforestation will be done? Yes, on this. Hello. Khadija still has not joined, no? Yes, Sundus, I'm asking, apart from these, what are the reasons you can think of? Like for these purposes, namely forests are cleared down. One another reason could be for construction of dams, isn't it? To construct dams. So these are the reasons why deforestation is being done. So all the above, all these are the causes, all these are the man-made causes of deforestation. अभी हमने जो भी पढ़ा है, whatever we have studied so far, these are the man-made cause of deforestation. Getting it now? Man-made deforestation. Now, earlier, I think you asked about forest fires. So that is a natural cause. Hmm? So there are some natural causes of deforestation also, like forest fires, or you have like a case of drafts, severe drought. Like if it hasn't rained for let's say for a few years, so thereby conditions of drought will develop. So natural causes of drought are as follows. 1 minute. Talking about natural causes, one of them could be forest fire. Then you have like drought. And why drought will happen? Due to inconsistent rain. Consistent rain or no rain for a prolonged period of time. No rain for a prolonged period of time. Is it clear? Yeah, Khadija, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam.
Khadija, please try to join the class on time. So, guys, we were talking about deforestation. So, it has in forests, a great variety of living organisms like plants and animals. They are existing right now. So, there's a huge biodiversity found in the forest. So, when the forest is being cut down, habitat of the wildlife is lost. Apart from that, you know that plants maintain the balance of oxygen in the atmosphere. So this composition of oxygen in the atmosphere will also be disturbed, right? So that is the thing. And talking about the consequences of deforestation, let's understand what the consequences of deforestation are going to be. Yes, see, the destruction of the forest due to excessive cutting down of trees can make the forest disappear completely in just one day. It takes decades. It can take almost 50 to 100 years for a forest to grow, for a forest to develop. But in just one day, you are clearing all the forest, you are clearing all the trees, you cut down all the trees. So in just one day, we can lose a forest. Huh? So try to understand the severity of the problem. Talking about the consequences of forest, like cutting down a forest, it can lead to a shortage of wood and other forest products for the people living in that area or nearby. So wood that we use in the that is there in the forest, it is used as a fuel right now. It is used for fuel for making doors or windows or furnitures or for making paper. So deforestation will lead to a shortage of wood for all these purposes.
Soil
If
erosion
conti-
also.
yes, soil erosion, good.
And also, won't it lead to too much carbon dioxide?
Don't we?
Won't it lead to too much carbon dioxide in the air?
Exactly, exactly. It will lead to excessive amount of carbon dioxide in the air also. Very good. Because we know that carbon dioxide is one of the inorganic compounds required in the process of photosynthesis. So plants are taking in. If good number of plants are there, so they will be taking in the excess amount of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But if there are no plants, hence carbon dioxide will still be there in the atmosphere and causing many problems, like causing global warming,
Destruction and water cycle.
destruction of
Water cycle.
water cycle will also be disturbed. Very good. So one of the consequences will be of shortage of wood and other forest products. So we have studied this. So continuous deforestation will now lead to shortage of wood, right? So earlier, if we were doing controlled cutting of trees, like you are cutting down trees and you are planting some new trees also, so that will have a balance in nature. But now you are cutting excessive amount of trees, so thereby it will lead to shortage of wood. So where will you now get wood to use as fuel to make windows? Hmm. Now there are some other forest products also, like honey is also obtained from forest now. Honey, gum, yeah. You have a wax, that
Paper.
is latex. Paper, paper is also obtained. Paper, you will be counting it in this. Like wood is further refined, further processed to obtain paper right now. Then you have this another product, latex is there. Getting it, guys? Latex used as sealing wax. It is used as a sealing wax. Also, we have so many herbal plants also found in the forest now, right? So that is the thing. Next thing is that cutting down of forest will lead to increase in temperature of earth. So thereby that will give rise to phenomena called as global warming. Who will explain to me what happens in global warming? See, this is our Earth, and our Earth is surrounded by a blanket of air called as atmosphere. That's the sun, and sun's rays are entering into the atmosphere of Earth. So some of the sun rays will be absorbed into the surface of the Earth. Some of them will be reflected back. Right now, some of them will be absorbed. Some of them will be reflected back from the different surfaces, and some of them is reflected back, lost in the space only. So a very small percentage of the sun's light enters into the atmosphere of the Earth. Try to understand this. A very small percentage is entering into the Earth. A majority of the portion gets is lost into the space only. So some of them that manages to enter into the surface of the Earth, some of them is absorbed into the surface, some of them is reflected. So thereby what happens now, as you guys know about carbon dioxide gas,
Temperature,
if yes, yeah, I'm listening, repeat again.
temperature will increase.
Temperature will increase, very good. So basically what happens, the heat, the sun's heat that is reflected, it will go back into the space. It is meant to go into the space, but what happens, this carbon dioxide gas traps this heat. So it traps the heat and does not allow the heat to escape into the space. So thereby what you find, that overall temperature of the globe increases. And due to global warming, the polar ice caps in the northern and the southern pole of Earth, it starts to melt due to the excessive heat. So this will ultimately lead to melting of polar ice caps, and further it will lead to flooding of coastal areas. Flooding of coastal areas will happen, and not just this, but loss of habitat also. Loss of habitat for those organisms that are living in the Antarctic and Arctic areas. Getting it, guys? So that is the thing, that it will increase in the lead to increase in temperature of Earth, and it will have successive impacts right now. So global warming, what is it? Global warming is nothing but it's an increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's atmosphere due to the trapping of heat by the gases like carbon dioxide gas. Apart from carbon dioxide gas, you have some other gases also. Like there is methane also.
Like
See, yes,
the road after melting of what? Ice cap. Like what
ice.
is that?
Okay, okay, melting of polar ice caps. Then you have flooding of coastal areas. Coastal areas, na, coastal areas are those areas where land meets a water body, particularly an ocean or a sea. That area is called as coastal areas. Like here in India, let's say you have the eastern ghat and the western ghat, this part and this part of the peninsular India. Talking about the southern India, okay, na? Let's say this is the southern India. Here you have Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, etc. So this part which is meeting here with the Bay of Bengal and this with the Arabian Sea. So this land is called as coastal area. So what will happen? These areas will be the first area that will be flooded. So it will be covered with water if excess amount of polar caps starts to melt. Getting it, guys? Okay, now. Now there's one addition in here which I would like to make here. I did told you, like, apart from carbon dioxide gas, there are some other gases also, like CH4, that is methane. Okay. So there are some gases which are good absorbers of heat. Not just carbon dioxide, but some other gases are also there. Like methane is also there. So what happens, like if you travel to a village or if you travel to a farm, particularly in the colder parts of the world, colder areas in the world, you will find that like sunlight is not reaching there in that part of the year. huh? Like for example, in winters, if you were to go to a particular place in winter, so how they will be farming there? How they will do farming if sunlight is not reaching there, or if less amount of sunlight is reaching? So what you will observe that they would build. 1 minute, let me add a slide. Yes. So what they would be doing now, they would be making greenhouses. What are greenhouses? Greenhouses are particular special areas which are made of glasses in which plants are grown. So understand, try to understand this basically what
I know
happens.
that.
Yes,
I've
and this what
seen
is it? Mm-hmm.
like I've seen it, but like at two
Yes.
different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So like they plant the crops in a like transparent thingy.
Yes.
As so so that it also like has a
Mm-hmm.
green or the transparent thingy that like so the sunlight will reach it.
Okay. 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 See, basically, what happens basically now, like you have a greenhouse, you build greenhouses. What basically happens in a greenhouse, like in colder areas where not that much amount of sunlight is reaching in colder areas, so thereby what people would be doing, they would be making houses of glass like this. Okay now, and in this basically what they will be doing now, they will be growing some crops. Now the special thing about the greenhouses is that sun's rays that enters into it, it absorbs most of the sunlight. It absorbs most of the sunlight. So thereby it does not allow the sunlight to escape from this structure. Maximum amount of sunlight is absorbed inside this structure. So see that this is sun, and sunlight is coming into this structure. So it will be taken in, it will be absorbed by this structure. So thereby what happens, even in the winters, even in cold conditions, the inside of this house remains hotter, right now. So thereby plants will grow well in this. So that's why you say it to be a greenhouse. Are you guys understanding this? So also this greenhouse, in this you have you are supplying it with gases like carbon dioxide, methane. So these gases are pumped inside it. CH4, carbon dioxide. Okay, no? So that also helps in keeping it warmer because they are known to trap the heat from sunlight. Now, now in the similar manner, you have this green effect. By the way, this phenomena is called as greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect. So greenhouse effect, it is seen in the case of Earth also. So gases in the atmosphere such as carbon dioxide and methane, it traps the heat similar to the glass roof of this greenhouse. This is the glass roof. It traps the sun's heat. You put some gases inside in it to make to improve its efficiency. Now, considering our Earth, something similar is happening here also. Like the gases like carbon dioxide and methane, they trap the sun's light and does not allow much of it to escape back into the space. Hence, it increases the overall temperature of the Earth, and that is again called as greenhouse effect. Are you guys able to understand this? You can add some other gases also, like nitrous oxide is also there. So many different gases are there. Yes, Sundus?
I didn't get
Yes, you understood it, no? Or not?
like I didn't understood it.
You didn't got it. Okay,
Yes.
Khadija, what about you? And guys, please speak louder in the class. Come closer to the mic.
I understood.
Okay. See, Sundus, basically what is happening? You have some gases in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide is there. You have methane. You can count nitrous oxides also, but just for now, consider these two gases. So the sun's rays started entering into our atmosphere. We know that some of it will be absorbed into the surface, some of it will be reflected back into the space. It will go back into the space. But what happens due to the increasing pollution on Earth? Gases like carbon dioxide, methane, their concentration is increasing, and they are good absorbers of heat. So you know that sunlight is having heat in it also. Right now, infrared radiation is also found in it that gives it heat. So the heat from the sun's rays are trapped by this. They are absorbed by these gases right now. And you know, these gases are not going to escape into space. It will remain in our atmosphere. So this ultimately increases the overall temperature of the earth, right? So this leads to an effect called as greenhouse effect, because something similar happens in a greenhouse also. Huh? In this, what happens? This glass roof of this greenhouse traps most of the sun's light, sun's rays. You put some gases, you can put some gases in it also, like these gases. So it will keep the inside temperature warm, right? And hence plants will grow in a proper manner. So if you ever happen to visit a farmland where you find this greenhouse gas, if you were to go inside it, you will find it is comparatively warmer than outside. Is it clear to everyone or not? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
So the gases like carbon dioxide and uh, methane or nitrous oxides or water vapor also. So these are called as greenhouse gases. These are called as greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide, methane, or you have nitrous oxide. So, so that is the thing. Because they help in increasing the temperature of Earth. So hope it is clear. You have some other gases also, like chlorofluorocarbon is also there. CFCs. Earlier it was used in refrigerator. Hmm. Earlier, chlorofluorocarbon, let me write its full form. It was used in refrigerator, but it is no longer in use. So first of all, you guys will be writing the definition for global warming, and then you will be writing uh, this examples also. So for global warming, you will write it is basically the gradual increase in the Earth's temperature due to a phenomena called as greenhouse effect. Due to a phenomenon, greenhouse effect. Write this down. After this, we'll be studying about, as you said, like it leads to soil erosion and it makes the soil infertile also. So ultimately, it will lead to desertification. Khadija, your classes have started or not? As is it
Yes,
going
they've
on?
started. They
Okay,
started.
okay. So what's going on in the school? Which topic is going on in this chapter?
Oh, 1 second. Actually, we've done this much only.
Okay, okay. You guys done writing this or not? Please write it quickly.
And done.
Done? Khadija, you done?
Yes.
Okay. Write the examples of greenhouse gases: CO2, CH4, NO2, and CFCs, that is chlorofluorocarbon. CO2 is carbon dioxide, CH4 is methane, NO2 is nitrogen dioxide. Just write the formula only. You guys will also be writing the definition for greenhouse effect. But first write this. You guys know that this greenhouse effect not only happens in the case of Earth, but it can happen in case of other planets also. Like it can happen in the case, it happens in the case of Jupiter also. Okay, now. So basically, what we have understood in greenhouse effect, like there are some particular gases in the atmosphere which basically does not allow the heat from sun's rays to escape back into the space right now. So it will lead to increase in the surface temperature of the planet. So here this phenomena, ultimately the source of heat is from sun. Getting it now? While in the case of Jupiter, the greenhouse effect is happening due to an internal heating. The source of heat is internal. It is coming from the Jupiter itself. Are you guys able to understand what I'm saying?
No.
See, basically, I'm saying that in the case of Earth, the ultimate source of heat energy on on Earth is from sun. The heat is coming from the sun. There are some gases which absorbs that heat and does not allow it to escape back into the space. While in the case of a planet like Jupiter, the heat is coming from inside the planet. And there will be some gases in the atmosphere of Jupiter which will not allow that heat coming from the inside of the planet to escape into space. Understanding the difference or not, Sandos and Khadija?
Yes, I understand.
Good.
I didn't understand.
Not getting it. See, basically in this case, source of heat is this planet or is this sun? Do tell me this thing. The source of heat is Earth or sun?
And
Sun, obviously. Heat is coming from sun in the form of light energy, sunlight rays. While in the case of a planet like Jupiter, hmm, the heat is coming from within this planet. The heat is coming from within the planet, not from a sun. Right now. Also, it is very far away from the sun now. So heat is coming from within the planet, and the heat that reaches the surface of the planet, now here what happens, there will be certain gases which will absorb that heat and will not allow it to escape into space. So there also greenhouse effect is observed, right? Now question is that why is greenhouse effect called green? Why is it so? Because the thing is basically, um, if you were to look at this greenhouse here, you see that just like the glass of a greenhouse gas, they let visible light from the sun to pass through the atmosphere, but they absorb longer wavelength, uh, long wavelength light rays from the sun's rays. But anyways, just leave that if you're not getting it. There's a whole lot different topic that will require a significant amount of time. Anyways, you guys written this or not?
yeah.
Done? Okay. In short, Quickly write a definition for greenhouse effect also. So basically greenhouse effect is basically it occurs when green greenhouse gases, GHGs means greenhouse gases. So it occurs when greenhouse gases in the planet's atmosphere absorbs the heat coming from the sun and does not let it escape into space. You have a special case of Jupiter where the source of heat is internal, that is coming from within the planet. Quickly write this down, then we will be proceeding further. You guys done?
I'm right.
Okay. Now, next thing which we are going to discuss is that, like you guys know, first of all, you guys tell me what are some of other causes of deforestation? What could be some other consequences of deforestation?
Natural or human made?
Mm-hmm.
Natural or human made causes.
Not causes. I'm asking about consequences. Causes we have discussed. Consequences, like it can lead to desertification.
What
It
was
can.
the question?
Mhm.
What was the question?
Question is, what are some other consequences of deforestation? It can lead to deforestation. You guys have written this or not? Done?
It's in the
It is,
last one.
okay, write it quickly. So it can lead to desertification. It can lead to disturbance in the balance of the nature. It can lead to decrease in the rainfall. It can decrease the fertility of soil also, and it can increase the changes of natural calamities. Like there can be frequent floods. Right now, it will lead to frequent floods. So we will be understanding this. Also, moments
Climate
ago we
change
have,
also.
yes.
Climate change also.
Please speak clearly again.
Climate change as well.
Climate changes.
Does climate change also get caused because of it?
Yeah, climate change is deforestation also is one of the major causes of climate changes. Okay, now. Also, we have studied moments ago why would deforestation lead to an increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and global warming? We have understood that. Okay. So let's understand how deforestation can cause drought and it can lead to reduction in the rainfall. Let's understand this first. So what basically happens? The roots of trees, as you guys know, and roots of trees and other plants, it binds the particles of topsoil together. All the particles of topsoil are bounded together. So this, let's say this is a root. So many particles of topsoil will be binded by the root and the root hairs of the plants. So it kind of holds the soil, right? Now, due to this binding of the soil particles, the wind and water are not able to carry away the soil, to carry away the topsoil from one place to another very easily. So in this way, trees are preventing soil erosion, right? Also, you know that the tree cover, I mean to say that look at the canopy of the tree. This is the canopy. Canopy, you guys understand now? What is a canopy? Like when you go to a forest, you will be, if you go to a very dense forest in which tall trees are found, there's a stratification in the layering of trees. Shorter trees, medium sized trees, and longer trees are found in a forest. So you will find that you will won't be able to see the sunlight. Hmm? So because the dense branches of the trees forms a roof like a structure on in the forest, so that is called as canopy. So also what will happen, the tree cover will also soften the effect of heavy rains on the forest soil right now, because first of all the water droplets will be falling on this canopy on the branches, so thereby it softens the effect of heavy rain on the soil. Understanding it, guys? So due to this also the topsoil does not become loose. Due to this also it does not become loose because the effect of heavy rain has been softened due to the canopy. So this is another way in which we see that trees are helping in preventing the soil erosion. Hope you guys have understood this. So when the trees are cut down during deforestation, you see that there will be no roots of trees. Like the roots will now basically die, so they will no longer be holding on to the soil particles, right? So this will basically what will happen in this case. So whenever there will be heavy rainfall, so the water will no longer be absorbed into the soil as much as it was being absorbed earlier. So this will basically lead to water runoff in the forest. So water will run in the forest because earlier it was being absorbed by the plants, but now there's no plants. It will be running in the forest and it will also take the soil particles with it. Right now, getting it? So that is the thing. So the bare topsoil, it becomes very loose and it is being now eroded. So it is now being carried to another place. So in this manner, the top layer of the soil, which is very fertile, it is lost. So when we lose the topsoil of the forest, so thereby the farming or reforestation becomes very difficult because you have lost the topsoil, and after you have lost this, what is now left will be basically the lower hard and rocky layer of soil is left. Getting it, guys? And also the hard and rocky layer of the soil, it is less fertile, it has less humus in it. So we have studied the soil profile earlier also, like you guys must have studied earlier also the soil profile. After topsoil, the next layer of soil is less fertile in nature. It has less amount of humus in it. So plants will not grow well in this in that less fertile soil. So reforestation becomes very difficult. Getting it, guys? So this process leads to desertification. So the formation of a desert by erosion of vegetation due to harsh weather is called as desertification. Human activities like deforestation and improper irrigation are also responsible for desertification of terrains, basically lands. So desertification, basically what happens? Once a fertile land, once a dense forest is on the pathway to become a desert. So in this, what could be the reason? Harsh climatic conditions, human-made interventions. So that is deforestation could be the reason for it. You have forest fire, you have extreme floods. So all these leads to conversion of a fertile land into a desert forest. Fertile land of most appropriately it would be to say a forest. The main cause of forest turning into a desert that we have seen is deforestation and forest fires. And there have been some other natural calamities also. Hmm. Right now, if you today also, if you were to study certain parts of the world, like some oceans that you see today, millions and millions of years ago, they were covered with dense forest. Hmm. But due to the major tectonic activities that have been happening on Earth for past millions of years, plates collides into each other. There have been volcanic eruptions, earthquakes. So these were also one of these are also some of the reasons which we can consider. Also, it's a slow and gradual process. Like it's not like all this happens in a day. It will take time. It can take some decade, from so few years to some decade. So deforestation, we can say that it is one of the main reasons for desertification. Have you guys understood it? It's a simple and basic concept. Next, let's to talk about how deforestation will cause it will lead to decrease in the rainfall. So decrease in the rainfall will happen when, like if the evaporation has decreased, it means less rainfall will be happening there. So deforestation, as we have studied earlier, that the forest trees puts a lot of groundwater sucked through their roots. What is happening? Lots of groundwater is being pulled upward by the roots of the trees. So in this manner, the level of the groundwater is maintained. Try to understand it in this manner. 1 minute. So basically, what basically is happening in this case, suppose these are the dense forest in the forest. These are the trees with longer and thicker roots like this. And this here is the water table. Basically, the depth at which groundwater is found. So these groundwater are being continuously pulled upward by the trees due to transpiration. You guys know about transpiration, isn't it? Sundus, Khadija, we have studied about transpiration, no?
Yes.
So transpiration generates a suction pull, no? Right? Hmm. So thereby these roots are continuously pulling water from this groundwater in the upward direction. So the level is maintained here. It does not go down right now. So this water vapor, so the water will be lost from the leaves in the form of water vapor. During the day, especially, transpiration rate is maximum. Due to sunlight, transpiration rate is maximum during the day. So kya ho raha hai? What is happening here? Water is lost from the leaves in the form of water vapor. So more water vapor, it means more clouds will be formed now. Getting it, guys? More water vapor will result into formation of more clouds. So more clouds mean more rainfall. So in just a simple manner, we have understood that why plants are necessary. More plants mean that level of groundwater will be maintained, and that will ultimately lead to more evaporation, that is transpiration here. So more water vapor means formation of more clouds and hence more rainfall. But deforestation will be affecting this. If you were to cut down all these trees, so deforestation will lead to decrease in rainfall. So not just decrease in rainfall, the roots will die. So hence they will no pulling will happen. the water is no longer being pulled in the upward direction. Isn't it, guys? Getting it now? So hence this will also start to lower down. It will also start to level will fall down. Hope it is clear and both of you have understood, I hope. Right? So this is one of the reason. Also, deforestation has led to extinction of many wild animals and plants. We know forests are the natural habitats for many wild animals, birds, plants. So when forest trees and other forest plants are cut down, the natural habitat of wild animals and birds are getting destroyed. So the um, homeless wild animals, now they fall prey to human beings. So human beings will not be hunting them, or due to lack of food, ultimately they will die. So in the absence of forest trees and plants, the wild animals and birds, they will not be getting enough food. So they will starve to death. So in this way, many animals and species of birds have become extinct, basically vanished from that area. So when forests are cleared during the deforestation, many wild varieties of these animals are getting destroyed. Okay, now. So we moments ago, like in this, we have basically studied that that deforestation reduces rainfall because less groundwater is put into the atmosphere as water vapor through transpiration. Deforestation leads to flood also because what happens? Percolation of rainwater into the soil is reduced. Percolation, you guys know, basically flowing of water into the soil. So why it will be reduced? Because there's no roots, so less absorption will be there. Right now, soil is also eroded by the rainfall or the flood water. So that will ultimately lead to loss of the top and fertile soil. So all these are the major consequences of deforestation. Hope you guys have understood this. Why this image you can see this is the annual temperature local records of the year 2015. Now here look at the temperature. Look at the temperature of different parts of the world. The one that is in red and this color, this has recorded the extreme temperature conditions. So you can look from here also. Like South America, this is North America, here it's Africa, this is India. So these are the regions which where the temperature has increased maximum. And this is a data, this is a comparative data also. Like the base year was the year
I can't
1980.
see the screen.
Is it not visible, guys?
Yes, it's not visible.
1 minute. Is it still not visible?
Yes, it's not visible.
Adija, is it visible to you?
No sound.
Just 1 minute.
And now it's visible.
It is visible now. Okay. So this is basically the temperature of the different worlds. So this is the report prepared in the year 2015, which shows the average temperature of different parts of the world. So you can see here that the areas normally that are more closer to the equator of Earth. You guys know about equator now? It's an imaginary horizontal line that divides the Earth into the northern and the southern hemisphere, right? So you find that particularly those areas which are closer to this equator, just pay attention to these two colors right now, this one and this one. So they are particularly closer to this area. Okay, no? So this much region is called as equatorial region. This much region which I'm sharing here, this you call as equatorial area. Right? And you will find that this part of the world has also experienced extreme temperature conditions? So the answer to that is that the geographic conditions on Earth is not very much uniform. At some places, some areas are at higher mean sea level, at higher above the sea level. At some places, it is not that much high from the sea level. So overall, the areas that are more closer to the equator experience more temperature conditions, more heat. Thereby, you would find that people who are living in Asiatic countries or in Africa, their skin is usually their skin color is usually darker right now because sun's rays are falling almost perpendicular to the equator of Earth. Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Okay, no? Okay. So in the next class, we will understand what are the mitigation methods. Mitigation basically means that damage is being done by something and you try to reverse the damage or try to reduce the damage. So what are the mitigation methods we have adopted? So like reforestation is being practiced by organizations. Recycling of paper is now being promoted. We should use less amount of plastic bags instead of plastic bags. We should prefer paper bags. So reforestation will be studying it as simply the restocking of the destroyed forest by planting new trees, right? So that is what in simple term reforestation is done mean. Like you cut down the forest, but make sure you plant the same number of trees, or you don't cut down the endangered species of trees, or you don't cut down the trees from that forest where endangered species are living right now. So because their numbers are already less, and now on the top of it, what you are doing, you are depriving them of their habitats by cutting down their forests. So that's a double attack on that animal, on that species. So deforestation basically aims at reclaiming the forest land, basically reclamation of the forest land right now. So the next class will be talking about uh, what are these biosphere reserves, what are wildlife sanctuary, and what are national parks? How are they important? What are the differences between them? What are some of the important biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuary, and national park in India? So with this,